start. So why is this topic so important, and why, I guess, why you guys join this session is, of course, first of all, cash or liquidity is becoming more and more important. A few years ago, companies were mainly, competing in terms of their products, in terms of their sales revenue. But now we see more and more companies are competing in terms of their supply chain, how they manage their supply chain and their liquidity. So if you look at today, the Wall Street analysts, they are mainly looking at their working capital, the cash flow performance of the companies, because it's a good indicator how well they are managed. And also in specific markets like, for example, food and beverage, where you have a lot of saturation and it's very difficult to gain market share. There is, of course, a big focus on acquisition, merger and acquisition, which again needs liquidity. So supply chain finance can be a solution to very easily add liquidity, which is required for this type of strategies. And then the second reason is disruption in the supply chain or supply chain risks. So I'm sure you heard about Fukushima in 2011, or the same year the Thai flooding. So this showed some clear issues in terms of disruptions, especially on the physical supply chain. So I'm not sure if you're aware, like in Thailand is one of the largest manufacturers with a lot of strategic suppliers for the hard disk manufacturers worldwide. It's #1 country. And I think through the flooding, it interrupted the whole supply chain of Western Digital, one of the major hard disk manufacturers, I think for a few months. So it was a huge impact. And basically all this disruption, the physical supply chain also now put some focus on these corporates on what happens on the financial supply chain if my suppliers are suddenly run out of cash or cannot provide me enough of my products or services because they get out of business. Okay. And then the third is basically, it's a new trade finance model. It's heavily influenced by new technology like electronic invoicing, web-based or SAS solutions. And I will go more into detail in the coming slides about all this new technology which are shaping the market. And of course, the third one is just basically, it's industry buzzwords. A lot of people are searching right now. I mean, I remember a few years ago, nobody spoke about supply chain finance, and now there's like, I think every year there's about 30, 40 different conferences. There's now already some new publications being published. And I just did some research just a few days ago on Google Trends, where you can enter a topic or a term, and you see there's a clear trend. I think since 2004, the topic was increased, or the trend increased like 4 times. And I also ran that a few months ago, specifically looking at Google in China, and there it's even more crazy. I think it's like 10 times the growth just the last 2 years. So it's moving from Europe, US, and now to emerging markets where a lot of people are looking at this type of solutions.